Concerning agribusiness, I will present a short overview of agriculture in Benin, as well as the main crops and some opportunities in the field. As regards energy, I will present the energy situation to you, the effort being made by the government of Benin, the potential, some energy projects, and we also talk about some relevant organizations that might be helpful when you have an investment project in the area of energy in Benin. Regarding tourism, I will present some tourist attractions and share the vision of the government of Benin with you. I won't linger on this data, but I just want to say that Benin is an agricultural country. You can see, agriculture is a big activity in the country. The major countries where we export goods are Gabon, China, India, Niger, Nigeria. So those are data of 2014. And we import goods from India, Thailand, France, China, Togo, USA. Those are also data of 2014. Regarding agriculture, agriculture is the main source of income for more than 75% of the population in Benin. So this gives you an idea how important this activity is for the population and also for the national economy of Benin. We have two rainy seasons in Benin, from April to mid-July, and from mid-September to October, and two dry seasons from November to March, and from mid-July to mid-September. The annual pluviometry is 1,245 millimeters. This is true especially for the south, as the northern part of the country is a little bit drier in the south. But we have a lot of assets. We have a lot of farming lands, including valleys. If you follow the previous presentation in the video, the lady was talking about the Weme Valley, which is considered as the second most fertile valley in the world after that of the Nile. So there are many opportunities there in terms of agribusiness. We produce a lot of crops in Benin. You can see we have cotton, fruits, shea butter, cashew, rice, fish, palm oil, pineapple, etc. So there are many crops that we grow in the country. But the government of Benin has decided to give priority to 5 of them, including cotton, cashew, pineapple, rice, and maize. Concerning cotton, it is the main cash crop of Benin. The area cultivated in 2014 was more than 400,000 hectares, and the production was 393,000 tons. But the vision of the government of Benin is to reduce the area cultivated while increasing the yield. And I think that this is where we will need the expertise of Denmark, because you have developed a lot of expertise in the field of agriculture, how to improve yield, how to improve seeds, and have a greater yield while using very few lands. So that is the vision of the government of Benin in terms of cotton production. There are some opportunities regarding cotton. It is possible to take over a textile company in Benin that we call the Complexe Textile du Benin Coteb. The government of Benin believes that the private sector is more effective in managing companies than government. So they want to privatize this textile company, and that might be an opportunity for Danish companies. It is located in the industrial zone to the west of the city of Barakou. You can also think about establishing a cotton processing factory in the city of Banikwara. Banikwara is the area where we have the largest production of cotton in Benin. We call it the cotton belt. So there's an opportunity there because the raw material is available. And the vision of the government of Benin is to make sure that there is added value to our products instead of exporting them raw abroad. We want to make sure that the products are processed in the country so that they will create more added value. There will be some opportunities for transfer of knowledge, transfer of technologies, etc. Regarding cashew, cashew is grown from the center to the north of Benin, and it is the country's second largest cash crop. The opportunities available concerning cashew is the setting up of a cashew processing factory in order to produce cashew for human consumption, cashew oil for human consumption and also for cosmetics, and cashew juice from cashew apple. Concerning pineapple, pineapple is grown from the south to the center of Benin. And Benin is known as the sole exporter of the variety called sugar loaf. We call it in French pain de sucre. And it's very sweet and very popular with the European consumers. It is the third largest provider of agricultural income after cotton and cashew. Farmers are organized in cooperative, but there is a low level of processing. So there again, there's an opportunity to establish processing factories in order to process pineapple into fruit juice. There is also the need to set up a company for packing, because packing is an issue in Benin. There are local producers, they are making the effort to process their goods, but they don't have the right material for packaging. So setting up a company for packaging might be a very good idea. I will show you very quickly in this video how people are trying to process pineapple in Benin.
Annually, about 200,000 tons of pineapple is produced in Benin, and 2% of this is exported. The remaining is meant for local consumption. In order for producers to check waste, about 13 pineapple producers came together to form a cooperative society called Initiative pour la Relance Banana, IRA. Through individual contribution, a capital of about $115 was raised to set up the juice factory.
IRA Cooperative was set up in 2001 by pineapple producers with the aim of creating a sustainable market for our produce. Therefore, we came together to set up this factory to process part of our produce in order to preserve it. The pineapple is a crucial we can't produce, so we have to find alternative means to preserve it. In the beginning, it had so much value, but from 1998 to 2000, the price decreased to the extent that 1 kilo of pineapple cost $2. Therefore, we thought that since there was no industry to absorb all our produce, we had to contribute among ourselves to start this juice factory. And today, we are able to process 6 tons of pineapple into juice at every given time.
Mais les équipements que nous utilisons sont tellement à taille que la main-d'œuvre est beaucoup plus importante. Voilà par exemple les équipements qu'on utilisait dans les années 2005-2006.
It is sad to know that this equipment, which was used in 2005 and 2006, was the same that was used to heat juice. But today, we have a modern machine which has just been installed. So these pots are now used to boil water to sterilize the cans and bottles so as to prevent bacteria infections and food poisoning.
Juste pour stériliser les bouteilles vides. Là, c'est des bouteilles récupérées. Après l'enlèvement des étiquettes, il faut chauffer pour être sûr que les éléments nuisibles à la santé sont entièrement détruits.
With the help of Calvados, a Swiss NGO, IRA, has boosted its production to increase its revenue. Initially, they used indigenous means of preparing the juice, but the introduction of this modern equipment has tripled their production rates.
We started by producing 200 kilograms of pineapple with the little resource we had. We wrote to help us, and thanks be to God, they responded to our needs by giving us a modern machine worth about $10,000.
Helvetas has played a major role in the cooperatives in Alada. Not only do they assist them to acquire certificates, receive technical and financial assistance, but they also coordinate and link them to both local and international buyers.
Helvetas provide assistance for all pineapple producers in the Department of Atlantic. The last years, we tried maybe to put them in contact with many companies like Claro from Switzerland, Gebana from Burkina Faso, but Gebana is in Burkina Faso, but they export the juice. And also we have Blue Sky in Ghana too. So they come here to buy pineapple from the cooperative.
Currently, IRA employs about 7 permanent staff and 53 casual workers, of whom most are women. They now produce about 350 cartons of pineapple juice per day.
Avec ce petit niveau de transformation, la masse salariale.
Even with the small volume of production, our annual expenditure is estimated at $70,000 US. Our objective is to make our producers happy by giving them a good market and hopefully able to increase the salaries of our workers.
Tout en maintenant l'équilibre au sein même de l'entreprise pour qu'on n'échoue pas du jour au lendemain.
But you can see there's a need to establish modern processing factories in Benin in order to process locally grown crops. We also have opportunities in the production of shea butter. And for this, for shea butter again, I believe that there's an opportunity to set up processing factory for the production of cosmetics and chocolate. I would say that, concerning shea butter that you have a lot of women in this business in the northern part of Benin. So if you decide to establish, we also have opportunities regarding fruit. We have a lot of fruit in Benin, a lot of fruit. But the problem is that we don't have appropriate means to preserve and store them, which leads to huge post-harvest losses because of the lack of processing facilities. This is also an area to look at if you want to invest in Benin. We have a lot of species. We have mango, citrus, orange, mandarin, lemon, etc. So a lot of fruit is available in Benin, and you can think of establishing a fruit juice factory in the country. Other opportunities are available concerning agribusiness. On the 13th of October this year, the government of Benin decided to privatize a number of factories, a number of government-owned factories. This includes a tomato paste and juice factory in the district of Comase, a pineapple juice plant in Alada, an orange juice plant in Zakota, a cashew apple processing plant in Bante, a cashew nut factory in Barako, a mango juice factory in Natitengu, and 2 rice mills in Malanville and Glasgow. So those are some opportunities you may look at. So when tenders are developed and launched, the embassy will make sure that you are informed, and if you are interested, you may participate in the bidding process. Regarding energy, you know what we suffer in Benin, in Africa. That's what we experienced a minute ago. 2 times we had power outage. That's the situation that people suffer. Yeah, that's the situation that people suffer. Not only in Benin, but in many countries around Africa, that's the situation. And without electrical power, there is a little chance to achieve economic growth and development. The situation in Benin is such that we suffer shortage of electricity all the time. Despite installed capacity of 81 megawatts, we only have 21 megawatts. And Benin depends a lot on neighboring countries. We import electricity a lot from countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire. You can see in 2012 alone, we imported 90% of electricity from those countries. This is not a good situation for a country which want to develop, which want to promote the industrial sector. So what is the government of Benin doing? in the face of this situation. Once the government took office in April this year, they decided to restore and upgrade a number of generators in some power